Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome back to our little computer chess world. Welcome to an amazing gameplay by the most powerful chess engine in the world, by the brutal Stockfish 17 against really one of the strongest chess engines for sure, against the Tor chess engine. Here you witness really a unique, a crazy, a spectacular endgame idea performed by Stockfish. Really wild things happened here in this game. And the game was played in the Computer Bullet Chess Championship in 2025 that you could follow on chess.com. After 1,000 games they played in their grand final, Stockfish and Torch. Stockfish had a clear result. Stockfish brutalized Torch with almost, I don't know, plus 150 result out of the 1,000 games they played, which was really epic, really crazy performance again by the strongest chess engine in the world, by Stockfish 17. And this game, as I said, has such a great endgame idea. How Stockfish is playing without the queen is really remarkable. I've never witnessed such a crazy endgame idea. So put your seatbelts on and enjoy really in a spectacular game played by really strong chess engine. So with white, the fish open with the move d4, and the tempo of the game is 1 minute on the clock plus 1 second increment per move. So it's really fast time format. We have knight to f6, bishop to g5. The Trompowsky attack is on the board. Knight to e4, bishop to f4, f3. Here Torch is going into sort of a King's Indian structure, tries to get the bishop to g7, tries to maybe get the knight to d7, and hope to break and enter with the move e5, like in the common King's Indian defense. But it's not a King's Indian, but sometimes you're trying to get the similar structure. Then you know what to do, then you know where to attack, then you know, of course, what are your strategic ideas in this opening. So after queen to d2, Stockfish hopes to get this idea. After bishop to g7, Stockfish anticipates the possibility maybe that black will castle kingside, and then you're trying to trade off the bishops, and then you go with h4, h5, and similar stuff. Bishop to g7, bishop to c4, c5, and after d takes c5, d takes c5. That was now the last prearranged move by the organizer. From this point on, the engines are calculating the position for themselves, and Stockfish goes now with queen to d8. And after king to d8, you can say, now, dude, what you're talking about? No way this game is going to be spectacular without the queens on the board. But look at this now, how Stockfish uses every single piece now all over the board in order to create some madness here against black. Knight to c3 by the fish. We have now knight to d7. Here Torch is going for the knight on c3, hopes to mess up the pawn structure here on the queen side. We have knight to h3, bishop takes c3, we have b takes c3. Mission accomplished for Torch, and it seems so that this should be perfectly fine. Now you're continuing the game with the messed up pawn structure by white, but now here we have knight to b6. First of all, hitting the bishop on c4 and also hitting knight on h3. But now knight to g5, great counterattack by the fish. Knight to c4, knight takes f7. We have now the idea to get this rook, and it seems so again that white is winning the exchange in this tactical sequence. But we have to be honest here, probably white is going to lose another minor piece in this tactical sequence, because this knight is trapped. This knight cannot get out, and in one particular moment black will grab it for sure. So in a scenario where we could play maybe this endgame sort of, I would always say that black should be better here, but Stockfish is not evaluating the position like this. Stockfish says you need extra time, you need extra tempi just in order to grab this knight. Meanwhile, I'm doing something. And Stockfish, after move king to f8, goes aggressively with the move h4, which is now the only good move. No other good move is there. You could maybe try knight takes g6, h takes g6, and okay, you get a couple of pawns, you get also the rook for the two minor pieces that you lost, but this is not the optimal way here to proceed. Stockfish goes now aggressive with h4. Here Torch goes closer to the knight, but now Stockfish again continues with the only good move, h5. What should you do? Look how dirty this idea is by Stockfish, the move h5. If you, for instance, try king takes h8, if you grab now this knight, then you get h takes g6, and there's nothing that can be done. You can maybe play h6, then bishop to b8 with take, then you take out this one, I don't know, something like this, you can take, and then we pick up many pawns. And in this scenario where white would continue the game with three connected pass pawns against this rook and two minor pieces, especially especially when this rook comes into the game is over here for black. So black has to be careful. After move h5, again Torch plays the only good move, which is now the move g5, trying to somehow keep this h file locked and then eventually grab the knight on h8. Obviously the check is not working because the knight is still holding the square and it's not allowing this knight to be protected. Here we have bishop to g5, knight to c6. Here Torch protects now the pawn on e7. Stockfish continues now again with the only good move, f4. And even if you take now, for instance, here this knight, then f5 will happen, and then suddenly the knights are a little bit misplaced. You may be trying, I don't know, b6 to get this bishop into the game, but then queenside castling, and it's devastating. Still, maybe this was a line that Torch could have played, but this knight is always stuck to the defense of this pawn on e7. Here Stockfish in one moment will eventually break the position with rook to f1, f6. The pieces of blacks are a little bit misplaced. They are not so well coordinated, so that's why Torch decided not to go immediately for the king. Here Torch, after move f4 that Stockfish plays, tries now the move knight to d6, tries now to attack the pawn, and now the real fun starts. So Stockfish will probably lose the knight on h8. We have discussed it already. But Stockfish does the incredible, sacrifices now the bishop on e7, gives up now another piece. We have knight takes e7, and when I watched the game at home, I was like, what the hell are you doing? You will lose the knight on h8 for sure. Okay, you get some pawn storms here. For sure, the pawns are rolling, but I was really surprised to see such a brutal position. But again, Stockfish is evaluating this lack of development of black's pieces as a huge problem. After knight to e7, Stockfish plays now an aggressive king queenside castling. The issue is now after knight takes e4 that you have to play. We have now h6, again the only good move here by the fish. We have now king takes h8. Finally, you see three minor pieces are now against the rook. King to f6 would not be so good because after rook to d8 the pieces are paralyzed, so you don't want to go into this line. So that's why after h6, king takes h8. Now Stockfish delivers a new check. You have to now cover with the knight. That was Stockfish mean plan. Now this other rook is coming into the game. Torch is holding somehow the position with knight to f6, and look how epic this pawn is on h6. Really amazing stuff. Stockfish continues now with g4. Again, the only good move. Every other move is a draw or a losing game for white. The only good move is here g4, trying to deflect the knight from the defense of this knight. Then again f5. Look at this, Stockfish is really playing amazing chess. You cannot take because then this rook is hanging. Knight takes h6 here by Torch. If you try here knight to f6, then rook from e to e8, and you get this idea. Look at this, knight takes e8, rook takes e8, and then in one moment f6, f7 will happen, and the knight also will be taken. So this is not working. So that's why after knight to h6, Stockfish continues now with f6. We have now b6. Black is trying desperately now to bring the pieces back into the game. We have rook from e to e8. Now we have bishop to b7, rook takes a8, bishop to a8, and now after rook takes a8, look how dangerous this pawn is. Now this pawn is making progress with f7. That's the issue that black has to face here. So that's why Torch tried to hold this position with the knight to f7, but now rook to f8 is coming. Everything is forced here. Black had never really a chance after the rook sacrifice against the bishop a couple of moves ago. Now Torch step back. Stockfish plays now f7. Great move. Now the knight is pinned, and you have to now give up here this knight, and in this particular endgame, obviously white is a completely winning position. So here a5, Stockfish goes closer with the king, goes again closer with the king, and now simply grabs off this pawn. Torch is trying to battle. After a4, rook takes h6, also great move here by Stockfish. Great endgame technique, because Stockfish calculated that this should be winning. Here after a couple more moves, c4, king to f5, going with the king closer, king to f5. Now Stockfish is getting closer, and now king to c3. Nothing can be done. King to e5. Now Stockfish goes closer. We have now a king to d6. Even if you draw king to d4, then it's still winning, because here we have this continuation where a4 a5 will happen. So again, completely winning position. After king to b3, we have king to d6, king to a4, king to c6. Stockfish goes closer with the king, and now after a couple more moves, Stockfish grab the pawn, and here in this particular position, it was a game over. Torch simply resigns. So let's see the continuation. You obviously just push the pawn, promote the queen, and you deliver checkmate for sure in a couple of more moves. So amazing stuff here by Stockfish. Let's go back to this critical moment, this bishop sacrifice, how Stockfish is using this paralysis of black's pieces. Bishop to e7, let's see again. Here we have h6 kicking away, and now you get this one, forcing now this knight to cover. You go here, g4, deflect now the knight. If you push simply the pawn further, as we said, even if you try in this position, the move knight to f6, then this one is going to happen. Look at this, knight to e8, rook takes e8, and then again f6, f7. So nothing can be done. Again, winning position here for Stockfish. So amazing stuff. This game shows me that you sometimes don't have to have queens on the board in order to create an immortal and end game. Great again game by the simply strongest chess engine in the world, by Stockfish 17. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting endgame ideas here by the fish. If you want to see some other beautiful, brutal, spectacular, amazing chess games like this, check out our commented chess games play by computer series, where we analyze some beautiful AI chess. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos. And what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.